So, hello and welcome everyone watching. Hope you're all keeping safe and well. In this webinar today, we'll be chatting to Joanne McAvoy from Career Boost about how they link graduates to roles in small and medium-sized enterprises in both the north and south of Ireland. And we will also be chatting today to Edward McKinney from McCallion Construction about what it's like for a graduate in the world of construction. So, hello and good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning, David.
Good luck.
So, Edward, thank you. Edward, I'd like to start with you. Can you give us a brief introduction to yourself, your role within, McCallion Construction, and what is McCallion Construction, please?
Yeah, we're a medium-sized civil engineering contractor, construction contractor, civil engineering contractor. We operate nationwide. We're based in Donegal. Our main focus would be in sort of retail and sort of healthcare sectors. And I suppose my role within that, I sort of work in the sort of the contracts management side of it. So recruitment and that sort of them sort of tasks are key to that, to try and build the right teams of people to carry out the work really that we're looking for carried out. That sort of goes across the scope, the breadth of the company in terms of office staff and sort of site staff. So like we would have quite a large sort of group of people that would come together to deliver a project, as you can imagine. So in broad terms, that's sort of the how we pull it together, like, and what my role within that.
Yeah, do you work with a wide range of products? Is there any kind of products people will be familiar with that your company has worked on?
We would deliver, for example, a lot of Lidl stores. So we would deliver a lot of Lidl stores across the country. Those could be new builds, it could be refurbs, pretty demanding sort of projects. Really, our main focus would be in those sort of areas where there would be very demanding programs. You have to come up with very innovative sort of solutions to how to get through these programs. Clients are obviously don't want to be sort of disrupted at all, if necessary, if possible. And really, our task is to try and come up with solutions that cause as little disruption as possible. Really, I suppose, to them. But yeah, Lidl would be the most recognizable sort of product that we produce, that people could relate to.
Excellent, brilliant. So it sounds like a very fast-paced and kind of demanding world for a graduate, which is good.
That's the type of people we're looking for. Yeah.
Excellent, definitely. Brilliant. And Joanne, just for yourself, can you give a bit of background about Career Boost, how it is you link graduates to roles in companies like Edwards, and your role within Career Boost as well, please?
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm Joanne McAvoy and I am project manager of innovation programs in Intertrade Ireland, and I manage the Career Boost program. So basically, Career Boost connects science, engineering and technology graduates with real jobs in innovative companies across the island. Each role is contracted at either 12 or 18 months, and we were previously known as the Intertrade Ireland Graduate Programme, but now obviously known as Career Boost, and we've been successfully offering innovation project management jobs to graduates since 2001. So how we link a graduate to these roles is basically, I would see Career Boost as essentially being the missing piece to the jigsaw essentially, that we connect the graduate to these exciting roles. We know that there are plenty of graduates coming out of university with excellent knowledge, and likewise there's companies across the island that have innovative ideas and need that knowledge to help propel it through. So we have all these exciting opportunities posted on our website and on our Facebook page. And if a student sees a job that they like, they can apply directly through us by answering a few questions and uploading their CV.
Brilliant. And obviously there's loads more information to be found on the website about the various different roles and opportunities that come up. Edward, I think it'd be remiss if, given the current circumstances we're in, if we didn't talk about, the current pandemic and everything that's going on. But we're recording this just after a few days it was announced that, construction people will be going back to work, I think it's in a couple of weeks. Before we can touch on the future, I think construction is actually one of the more, if not the most interesting kind of sector that's happened all this. You're one of the last to kind of, be sent home, and then you're one of the first to go back. So can you just explain to me when it all started happening, how have things changed for you and how have you adapted as a business?
I suppose initially you sort of heard the headlines coming from China, and they're building hospitals and 2 weeks and stuff like this. Like, but in terms of the reality of it, it is actually very different. Like, and initially when we were kind of alerted to this, that it would have an impact on us through government guidelines, through the CIF, that type of thing. Like, and ultimately, there was risk identified, so we started carrying out a risk assessment on our business operations, really, and that sort of focused attention to the fact that we may not have, that we may have to decant our head office, for example, and we're pretty fortunate. We were pretty well set up. Everybody in our operation, pretty much everybody, was working off laptops. We use cloud, and we use cloud document management, and so it basically meant that we could put people remotely pretty easily, to be honest, for us. So it wasn't a big issue. Like, technology is a big thing for us, because we're based in Donegal, and our operations could be anywhere in the country. We tend to be operating remotely most of the time in our work. Like, so we were able to react pretty quickly to getting people home, really, and working from home. So that was a pretty easy enough transition, that one. In terms of the actual sites themselves, before the shutdown, there was fairly immediate measures put in place about sort of sanitization and all that type of thing, about cleaning and about sort of social distancing and that type of thing. Like, and to be honest, that was a message that was hard to communicate at that point. I think now that we're, you did allude to the fact that we're one of the first industries going back. I think now that people have had time to consider what's there, and the CIF have issued very good guidelines in terms of sort of going back to work and how this should work. From our perspective, we've spent a lot of time in the last couple of weeks preparing to go back to what sites are going to look like. So they're going to look a bit different to what people like. We have jobs that stop midstream. The site, when people go back now, is going to be very different to what it was when people left. It's essentially still going to be a construction site, but it will be a lot more of a controlled environment. There'll be a lot more signage. There'll be a lot more compliance. People will need to work with us a lot better. Across the board, in terms of our office procedures, RAMs, risk assessments and method statements, all our subcontractors, all our stakeholders have had to update them documents to in line with the new CIF guidelines. So again, there's a large body of work taking place in that respect. But I would be very hopeful that when the sites do start up again, that they will be compliant, and there'll be a very high level of compliance. It'll be a pretty slow start initially, I would think, and as people get used to the message, it'll be ramped up. But social distancing and the maintenance of social distancing, PPE, that type of compliance will be very, very important.
Right, there's just a few points you picked up on there. So showcases how the kind of small and medium-sized companies can adapt so quickly to change and actually thrive. And because this change has happened so quickly, you're talking about there is you're already putting plans in place about going back on May the 18th, and about the PPE and the social distancing. You're able to implement that across your sites very quickly, and it's obviously a large piece of work. Because it's not kind of one of the bigger companies, kind of like a freighter turning is an analogy I've used before. You're able to adapt really quickly and smartly, and you could actually come out of this in one of the better positions because of the adaptability that you have.
No question. It's I think because we're a medium-sized company, not a huge big operation, we can make decisions and enact them in that day. Like where we don't need sort of board approval for big strategic decisions. Like so, it works. It works fairly well for us. Like we would be very confident of where we're at in terms of the compliance level that we'll have when we go back. Like obviously, there's investment there, and you're going to, you have two choices here: either you fight this or you embrace it. And we've made a choice that we want to embrace it. Like so, it'll really define who actually succeeds in this situation or not. Like, so that's, we want to succeed. So
yeah, 100%. It's a great way of looking at it. It's about adapting to the new future, not trying to get back to normal and waiting for that to come. It's about adapting to the here and the now.
Definitely, it's a new normal, it's a new future, really, and that's the way it is.
Exactly. And Joanne, just to go back to you, I know one of the great things about Career Boost is the fact that it links graduates and students to roles that like they might not have known existed. Like I think even McCallion Bill, like, like you said there, Eddie, loads of the little stores and bits and pieces. I think Career Boost is such a variety of roles. I think that's something you must see across your role with them.
Absolutely. So as we already mentioned, that these jobs are across the whole island. And I think, as you guys have already sort of touched on there, these companies involved in Career Boost by their very nature are adaptable and can adjust and thrive in these times of great change. So while normally we would see quite a large sort of range of jobs, like for talk's sake, I've seen jobs in construction, specialising in design and installation of play parks, to market leaders in 3D medical printing, to the food industry. So there is a wide variety of jobs out there for graduates coming from science, engineering and technology. And despite the current economic uncertainty, companies in this industry are still hiring, and despite the issues that are there, they're still looking for skilled and motivated graduates to help them take them into the new future. And maybe now more than ever, they need those skills coming on board with them to help propel them forward.
I think a lot of people might have the attitude, there's a lot of uncertainty in the job market, which is true. Now, students, graduates are in a unique position, and that they are the most innovative of the workforce. So, companies are looking for these people to come in and help them with new ideas to adapt to the new future, as we said, which is great. Eddie, I want to just talk more generally there about kind of your role in the company and construction in general. Maybe if a graduate, if you ask them about, do you want a graduate, if you ask the graduate, how do you see a role in construction? Maybe they think it's hard hats and, hard manual labor and high vis and all these kind of stuff. So can you just kind of dispel a few of those myths and what a graduate?
Well, for us, like we have a graduate program when a graduate comes on board, and so like the graduate would enter a program and basically be offered the opportunity to work on a variety of our projects and in a variety of locations. So that, I think in days gone by, even in my early days, there would have been this idea that a graduate would have come in and sort of done one task for 2 years, and that's totally not the case. Like our strategy is to expose these people as quick as possible to as many environments as possible, to as many characters as possible, to different sectors of the business, to give them different perspectives. Like, you'll have somebody maybe assessing, say a subcontractor. From a program perspective, it could be brilliant, but from a cost perspective, it could be pretty. So, for a graduate to come in, it's all new, and really for them to see different perspectives like that and see the dialogue, maybe is a polite way of putting it, but the dialogue that goes on behind the scenes to form collective decisions and to be exposed to how decision making is actually achieved, a decision making that suits the best interests of ourselves, number one, but also our client. Like our working environment is not an adversarial working environment in the way it would have been in the past. Like we would like to think ourselves as we partner our clients rather than sort of fight with our clients. Like so. That would mean there's compromise in our decisions a lot of the time. Not all the time, but a lot of the time, where we have to put ourselves in our clients' shoes and try and understand what their pressure points is. But overall, the student will they'll be offered the opportunity to basically use as much technology as possible. We use technology a lot, should it be in our surveying or engineering or head office, whatever. If we can find it beneficial, we use it. So a lot of AutoCAD, a lot of BIM technology, all that type of stuff that's been used in terms of design, and assess and design, that type of thing. Really, we're looking to challenge the graduate to become the best that they can be, and really, I think from that perspective, we're looking for them to be as professional as possible. And you talk there about the various sort of courses, Joanne. For us, the courses is important, absolutely. And what's actually very, very important, which isn't spoken about enough, is the character of the individual. We want people to have strong characters. We want people to have to be adaptable, to be flexible, and really just be good professionals. So from the day they come through the door, we are trying to mold them into being good, strong, reliable, professional people. And it's a different narrative towards college, but we try and make that as exciting as possible. We try and make it as flexible as possible. We try and make it a very worthwhile experience, something that they'll enjoy and hopefully come bouncing through the door in the morning. Really, that's the idea.
I think some of the points you made there are just, fantastic. I think because a lot of graduates may think that, you have a chosen path in terms of, you go and work for a big company in an office and that's what you do. And for some people, that is the goal and that's the dream. But for graduates who are sitting there and maybe thinking there's not a huge amount of options there for them, there is this loads. I mean, you can go in and, you can go and work for yourself and, getting on the ground and, you're in it straight away. You're dealing with loads of different people. It's instant. It's great.
Yeah, that's it. There's intensity from the first week, and we have to breed that into the graduate from early doors, because ultimately that's the environment we're in. Like we're successful in our field because we have reliability in terms of what we do. So we need that from our staff, and that starts with graduates. Like what graduates bring to us is that freshness. The enthusiasm, but a fun to it. They bring a different, perspective on technology, the use of technology. They're very open minds as to how it can be used and adapted to suit the needs. So, generally speaking, without being ageist, you're not going to get that from a 50-year-old. So, it's a balance that you need. And you've got to keep renewing as a company as well. So you've got to take younger people in. Our age profile is very young. Our age profile across the board is probably early 30s now, as an average for the company as a whole. So for a construction company, which normally relies so much on experience and sort of that's probably one of the lower norms or lower averages you'd get. I would have thought, certainly from one of my observations.
Yeah, very unique. I would like to think it is anyway. I think as well, just to pick up on something you said there, I think graduates hear a lot about what companies can offer them, but you're even saying there, look, graduates can offer us loads as well. Do you mean you can help us? And I think that's great for them to hear as well. That's not all about saying this is how we help you. It's important that they know that you can also help a company. You can help to innovate.
I think modern companies now are looking at it it's a two-way relationship. People. The fact is, graduates do have choices. The good graduates will have lots of choices, and we completely understand that we're in competition with other companies. To win a graduate, if you want to put it like that, because that's the way we see it. So we want to give the graduates a clear pathway, an exciting pathway, something that they can see. They can see their development. We can put them in touch with people that came here last year, the year before, and have them talk to them and see how they have developed and what their sense of achievement is. We're because we're a small company, we're a lean operation. We can't have people freewheeling in the operation. We need everybody being productive as quick as possible. And in terms of the graduate, that's challenging, yes, number one. But number two, if you're a productive member of staff, you're in a strong position as well. From a career perspective, you're in a very strong position if you can come in and respond to the challenges that are laid down for you.
Yeah, and the graduate landscape as it is in terms of applying for jobs is competitive, and so I think most students, graduates, would be prepared for a challenging environment. Eddie, just a couple of specific questions. So, do you take on graduates with specific degrees?
Generally, listen, we would take on like a range of people, but generally speaking, we take on engineering disciplines, surveyors, project managers, planners, sort of even accountants, whatever. Like, people forget on a construction operation that you have a large accounting operation to manage the cash flows and stuff, like, which is imperative for confidence across the board. But listen, variety. We encourage and actively seek people from a variety of backgrounds, even academic backgrounds. Again, a bit of for fear of repeating myself here. It's about the character. If we have the character, we can hopefully find a way that suits them and suits us to get to where we want to go. But the character is everything. Professionalism that they bring. Really, that's it.
Excellent, brilliant. And John, don't worry, we will get back to you. I just want to have just finish on something, just a couple of brief points, and these are kind of hard questions to answer. But just in general, Eddie, as we said, construction that one of the and it's I think impossible to answer this, with any real certainty. But in general, what does the future of construction look like in your head, Sven?
I think it's actually quite good, and I touched on it earlier. Like companies, generally speaking, you have a stability, and when you have a stability, people are reluctant to change. There's a slight instability now, so you're looking at every aspect of your business, and really in terms of graduates, I think they play a big role in this, because some people probably are worn down. Older people are probably worn down by the fact that there's maybe possibly we're looking at a second recession in 10 years here. But in saying that, the industry as a whole is very robust. I would expect a lot of construction within the next period, because there'll be very good value for money coming out of the industry as a whole, and because of the changing environment that will be, that'll open a lot of doors for the people that's willing to walk through them doors, and graduates are in a perfect place to do that if they show the right characteristics. And I'd be quite positive, and it's not as doom and gloom as the media would have you believe. Absolutely, definitely not. The environment that they're coming into, they're a strong bargaining position. The work environment will be very suited to them. It'll be a work environment that will be very compatible with their thinking, in terms of sort of flexibility and all that type of stuff. That's the way it's going, and overall, I'd be quite positive. Yeah.
Great to hear that, a positive spin on, not even a spin, positive facts on, the future that lies ahead. It's great to hear a different perspective on that. And then, Joanne, just from your perspective, kind of an overall, you see all the jobs coming in, via Career Boost. I think it's fair to say that, the future is positive for graduates. And, this is another way to look at this is actually, one of the most interesting times in human history. And you could start your, graduate career at one of the best times in recent history.
Absolutely. So I would definitely recommend graduates to consider the Career Boost program and start their journey, as you say, in one of the most interesting times in modern history. That despite this uncertainty, as Eddie's saying, there are a lot of opportunities out there, and that companies are looking for skilled and motivated graduates to help them move into the future with it. So I think that these companies are very adaptable and can adjust, and they're very fast-paced and offer graduates an alternative route into the competitive graduate market. It's not just about learning on the job, but it's learning to lead. And as Eddie says, it is all about not just the sort of the knowledge you're bringing in, but your attitude and coming into the program. You're getting the opportunity to be a vital part of the company, to develop and improve the processes and services that are there in the company.
Yeah, and I think that's, if you don't mind me saying, I think that's something that graduates underestimate within themselves. They don't put enough value on the youthful exuberance that they will bring to a team. And one of the things that we try and promote a lot within graduates when they come in is to have the confidence to speak, right? In sort of team environments and that, and they to shake off the cobwebs of, oh, I'm only new here, I'm sort of young and inexperienced. Like, we all know that you're young and inexperienced, but to the same degree, you're here for a reason. You're here to participate, and that's the key message. But we would feel obliged that we have to produce an environment where they're confident to speak and that their comments are valued, and that that then promotes further interaction in future. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking to fast track the individual.
And Eddie, I'm sure you see it through the career program when they're doing the quarterly meetings with yourself and the academic and their consultant. I'm sure you're seeing how they improve from the start of the process right through to the end, the confidence they get.
Couldn't agree more. Our last student that came through the process, his mentor was really, really good. I couldn't get over really the quality of the people that were involved in the process and the program, and from the start to the finish of it, quite right, as you said, his ability to complete tasks, to prepare for the meetings, and to execute the meetings was very high at the finish, very, very high, and really, for even on a company basis, even on a personal basis, it's great there's great reward, to see somebody grow into somebody, in their career and really develop in that way and do it in a short space of time. We were talking that particular program was 18 months now. He's 2 years post-grad and very, very capable for us. And for himself, first and foremost, he has a lot of choices. Don't forget, the construction industry is a worldwide industry. Maybe not in this year, but in future years, offers people a great opportunity to go and work worldwide, really. I have friends all over the world that I came across in my either academic work or my work environments subsequently, who are working in the construction industry. So people sometimes don't sort of reflect enough on especially I think in the wider media circles, they don't look on the positives enough for me.
Couldn't agree more. I think
I wish I had the same sort of help and assistance. I mean, my first job out of uni, because it's amazing the sort of skills you learn with it, because yourself, until you put yourself out of your comfort zone, you don't get to learn and grow with it.
Yeah, I mean, you're quite right. It's a multifaceted approach, and even from our perspective, it challenges us to sit down once every 3 months, as it was in that particular program, to review the progress of the graduate, and although it promotes these discussions, these hard discussions, for the betterment of the graduate, and that aligned to sort of the academic qualifications, the additional academic qualifications that come with that particular course. It was I was envious, actually, to be honest. It was very good.
Yeah, I think I think it is fair to say, there is more opportunities than ever out there for students and graduates, and even listen to yourself there, Eddie, to even hear you remember the last graduate that comes through. There's the personal touch there, which some people love, and you might not get by all means the bigger company. That's a dream for some people, and that's fantastic, and it's a really hard thing to get into, but you kind of get lost in the shuffle a little bit, and you feel like you're not part of the industry as a whole. Whereas you have that more personal touch with yourselves and other small and medium-sized businesses, where you feel like, if I do speak up here, it'll be taken on board and I can contribute to something tangible, which I think is great.
But in terms of that graduate, like, it's more important for us to make him productive and be successful, probably, than say a bigger company. Because we're not taking on 10 hoping we find 5. We're taking on 1 hoping that 1 or 2 is going to be successful for us. So it's, it's we demand a higher level of success, so we're probably prepared to put more into it.
And just, to touch on something briefly, with the research we get at Grad Ireland, we find something with graduates as well, is that they do have a little bit less confidence than previous generations, and they're a bit afraid to speak up. So it's great to hear you say that. We encourage, a positive mindset. We encourage you to, tell us your ideas. You are innovative. You've gotten this far in your career, so be positive and be proud of yourself. So I think it's great to finish on a positive note. Joanne, hopefully your little one there will be using the Career Boost program in the near future. So look, Joanne, Eddie, thank you so much for your time today, and thanks again. And like I said, reinforce the positivity. And thank you again for your time.
Lovely, thank you. Bye-bye.
See you, bye.